Here with head coach Anna Nimz as Lady Demons return to Prather this week, and actually 5 out of the next 7 games are here in Prather. So plenty of opportunity to come watch the team play. We'll talk about this week's games in just a second, but Coach, if you can give me a quick recap of this past road trip, a tough couple of games, and you were talking about it with some other folks. It's just like 10-minute periods that have really been the biggest hurdle over the past few games, and I certainly saw that this past week as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, all of our losses, you can really go back and find 10 minutes in that game and in one big run. And so that's what's really been hard to overcome. But they came out and they played really hard. We won the rebounding war against HBU. It's something that we had really been harping on, finding a body, getting, not just running to the rim. But then we had turned the ball over 22 times, 12 of which were unforced. So ultimately meaning we just made poor basketball decisions. And they did a really good job of attacking the rim and finishing on the other side with those turnovers. And so when you throw the ball away, further down the court, we call them deep turnovers, but it just allowed them to score way too many points. So yes, we finished the rebounding war, we got that, but we missed out on our other game key, which is take care of the ball. But they fought. I thought that they came out and played, a little maybe timid or reserved against McNeese, but then really settled in, and we kept getting the game within 5 and 6 and 8, but again, we're going on these runs, or we're, what I've been saying, it kind of spiraling for about 10 minutes that it's just put our backs against the wall. But the really exciting part is it's the second time going through season now. We're going to get to play 5 of 7. We didn't have a great outing on the road. There for a while we were really excited. We've been playing well on the road and not as well in Prather, but it's time to let that go and just a no excuse mentality. We shoot on these goals every single day. It's time to put the ball in the basket. But we're not asking it. It's different. We're like, hey, you played one great quarter. Let's put 3 together. They're playing 3 really good quarters of basketball. We're just missing 1. And so I think that's exciting. And sometimes that work doesn't get to show in the win-loss column in the way you would like, but that's 3 really good quarters of basketball, and we're still working for a common goal, which is at the end of season. And so as long as we can keep getting better and it go from 10 minutes to 9 to 8 to 7 to 6, we have enough games that we're going to be playing 40 minutes of basketball by the time we get to March, and that's got to be a focus as well as winning the next one.
A couple of players that I want to get your thoughts on that performed, I thought, very well this past week. One, Jordan Todd. She's really, she scored double figures in 2 of the last 3 games. Rebounding numbers have been up around 10. Talk about her play the past few games specifically.
She's just definitely become a focal point for where the ball needs to go. A lot of coaches, ourselves included, we want the ball to move side to side. We think a good possession means it goes inside out, whereas sometimes that means a guard creates off the bounce, gets into the paint and kicks. Right now, when you have Jordan Todd, and Jazz for that matter as well, you have those 2 that are continually getting better every single game. Where they were in the fall to where they are now is just tremendous. But we need to get the ball in their hands. And they're very selfless players. Sometimes we want them to actually turn around, face up, and go score it. And, they're looking to create not just for themselves, but for others. And so it's exciting to see that. Jazz, we didn't play her as much down low. We actually extended her out just a little bit. She's taken on any role, and that's exciting. But, with Jordan and her alike, I think they're excited, and I think they're starting to see how good they could be. And so although they're doing a great job now, I think that buy-in is really starting to happen, because I think they're starting to see that their ceiling's a lot higher than maybe what they once thought.
The other one that stood out was certainly Mo's play against McNeese, a double-double. One of the smaller players on the floor grabs 13 rebounds and scores 19 points. Just talk about her performance on Saturday specifically.
We're outmatched every single game, and that young lady has had to play the 4 spot against 6 foot and 5'11" players her entire season with us. But it hasn't changed. Her ability to get up and go crash. She plays big. She plays much bigger than 5'5". I hope that she doesn't always feel like she's got to put the team on her shoulders, but when the ball needs scored, she's willing. She's willing to get it into the paint. She's willing to create, not just for herself, but for others. I'd be, interested to actually go back and look at her assists, because a lot of times she's looking for somebody else. But when you do that, the ball tends to come back to you. In 19 and 13, that's pretty impressive. for anybody, but to be doing that against much bigger players is very impressive. She's always outmatched, when she's attacking on offense. So just doing a really nice job for us. Excited just to see where she continues to grow.
So moving into this week, like I said, back at home, kind of a anomaly, so to speak, if you want to call it that, in the schedule, in that we're going to play the same two teams we just saw a week ago. Obviously, the next 7 games will be against teams we've already seen, but playing HBU and McNeese, the same order, this close together, do you think that is a help in terms of just remembering scouts, remembering assignments, remembering things, and just maybe improving on them a little bit?
I think, it's good for us because we're not going to spend as much time maybe on player personnel, but rather, what worked and what didn't. And it's more so about correcting our game and less focus on our opponents. Obviously, we're going to scout. Obviously, we need to be checking the numbers, but we just played them, but we need to make the corrections that we saw. And so right now, if we're being honest, we just haven't played that full 4. And sometimes when things are a little bit chaotic in what we're trying to do, we went back to basics yesterday. We went back to shell. We went back to passing. We went back to the fundamentals of the game. And we need to shore up some of those things. So sometimes, when things aren't working out, you got to get back to basics, and that's exactly what we're doing. And we're focusing on us.
I don't know if this is an appropriate term for what has happened at home in the past few weeks, but I've called it a Prather Plague. It's because peas or whatever. And with the struggles at home, and you've talked about it before, you shoot on these rims every day in practice. The floor, comfortability there, it should be there. How do you sort of capture that, with, like I said, 5 of the next 7 at home?
If we're being honest, it's just no excuse mentality. Doesn't matter if we would have been shooting lights out on these courts, and now it's, but what if? No. We're at a point in season we need to drop any excuse, any doubt, any superstition, and we need to come out and play, period. So that's just how it is. It's called maturity. It's called mental growth, mental maturity, and that's what we need to put forth on that court.
All right. Thanks so much, Coach.
Thank you. Forcom.